That is some African beats that. But look, at the end of the day, we're here 4 Sundays later since that heartbreak in Ahmedabad. And India, of course, played their first one-day international since that World Cup final defeat against South Africa in Joburg. It's going to be a riveting Sunday. My name's Avnish Hegde. We'll bring it all for you in this cricket.com match preview with, of course, esteemed in-house experts. First and foremost, Somesh Agarwal joining us, as well as Gurkirat. Som, I'll come to you. ODI cricket back again. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting phase for ODI cricket from here on because, there were question marks about the relevance of the format even when the World Cup was going on. Since the World Cup was in India, the vibe and everything, the atmosphere, people watching, the number of people watching were quite high. But from here on, the real test of the format begins because, let's be fair, it's still struggling to stay relevant. It is relevant by till at least till the time when a few of the greats who are still of the game who are still playing the format are active. But I mean, I think the reverse countdown of sorts for the ODIs begin from here on. In my on, if I be really honest.
Yeah, I can understand that sentiment. Gurkirat, are you of the same sort of sentiment? The fact that ODI cricket, especially as an Indian fan, losing that World Cup final and now to look forward to another big tournament, that 2025 Champions Trophy and, of course, 2027 in South Africa itself. Do you think teams are now already starting to build to the future, especially Team India?
No, I think firstly the priority would be the T20 World Cup, which is from 6 months from now. And I had said this in one of the watch-alongs that every sport will go through, the peaks and the troughs, which will happen uh, post a world event. So the interest is going to die down. However, uh, would the interest remain the same in the lead up to the 2025 Champions Trophy, and would the same interest be replicated? It's difficult to say, because even during the World Cup, you felt that there were times where you were just waiting for things to happen. Uh, the result was sort of a giveaway, but the game was stretching. So it's something that the format will always keep fighting with. Uh, However, on that front, both the teams will have players who would look at this series as an opportunity to try and be in the scheme of things. India have a lot of players who, before this World Cup, were on the fringes. From an Indian point of view, I would have liked that India announce whosoever is going to be their full-time ODI captain, because as a backup captain or as a temporary captain, you cannot try and dictate too many terms. You will never be able to get the team to play in a manner or in a template that you are more comfortable with. So a lot of things would again be judged on the basis of just 3 games, but people don't understand that in those 3 games the captain is only looking for W's against his name. That's about it. So I would have really liked India to name their full-time ODI captain, because I don't see Rohit Sharma playing till the 2027 World Cup for sure. 2025 is also a bit too much right now to expect out of him. So would have been ideal had India announced their full-time ODI captain from here, so that you had that clarity, okay, that this player will always be in the scheme of things and will be among the decision makers, which is very important if you want to set up a template.
Interesting when you
No,
mentioned temporary captain, me and Som smirked because I think it was thinking about that punch to Tim Payne thing. But
no,
Som, go on.
actually, yeah. I mean, the real question to ask Gurgeet right now is, Gurgeet, who let the dogs out?
Yeah, these dogs are, the ones who I only take care of. But right now, I don't know. Maybe some dog from outside came in and they are not going to have any of it.
Oh,
Yeah, but
seems
it's a good
seems like
song.
seems like the situation in the Mumbai Indians camp right now.
Yeah, 100%. By the way, all you lovely people, get interactive as usual on a cricket.com live platform and do the match review as well later on. Roman Gurkirat will be joining us with regards to that. And we're just minutes away from the toss. Let's see how it happens out there in Joburg, because the last 4 out of 5 games in Johannesburg have been won by the team batting first. And it makes you think whether it's going to be a 300 plus score. It is a pink one-day international. I think we spoke about that in the watch along as well, where we have so many memories from the pink ODI scheme of things from South Africa. So what are you expecting to happen today? I mean, obviously Sanju Samson is the biggest sort of question mark. Will he be in? KL Rahul suggested that in his press conference as well. And do you think he will be locked in at 6 for all 3 one-day internationals, let alone this one?
I think so, and given the fact that Rinku has not been given the cap, the ODI cap, so it makes it obvious, and he should be playing that. He should be playing all the three games. He deserves it. He was really unfortunate to miss out on the World Cup berth, but right now, I think he's a lock in my opinion, and more so when Shreyas Iyer is out of the next two. I think Sanju will be playing the three games, irrespective of if he performs or not. But just for the sake of his career from here on, I really want him to score runs, because for some reason or the other, I feel the rope that Sanju is given always is significantly shorter than given to some others in within the camp. So I just expect that he sets the stage on fire. Number six is a tricky position to have, because at times you might not even get a chance to bat, and sometimes you come in a tricky situation and really have to bail the team out. So it's not an easy job, but I mean, it is what it is. He has to do it. I'm just hoping that when Shreyas Iyer goes out after the first game, Sanju's promoted up the order, because I feel number six is a little too low for him.
Okay, let's see how that really transpires out there. Sorry, I just keep peering over the laptop because South Africa won the toss and they're going to bat first, Gurkirat.
There's an ODI debut cap for Sai Sudarshan.
Yeah,
Which was expected, right? So he's going to be
expected.
opening the
Yeah,
batting, I'm guessing, with Gill. Gujarat Titans vibes.
with Gaikwad. I don't think
Oh,
Gill is
Gaikwad.
in the
Yeah,
squad. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Oh,
You know,
Gaikwad, beg your pardon.
it's a good thing that Somesh mentioned that Shreyas going after out after that first ODI. Now, personally, I don't understand what do you gain by playing Shreyas just one ODI game.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
he's not someone who you are looking at. Oh, you want to give him a chance and see what he can do. He's been a part of your setup for long now. He's a part of your first ODI 11. What do you gain by just playing him one game? KL, I can understand that he is the captain, and probably you look at him as the successor to Rohit Sharma in ODIs as the captain. So it's fair that he's getting to play those three games. But with Shreyas, I don't know what you gain out of this. Right? He might as well again. He's anyway going to join the squad, but you might as well release him, let him have his rest, and try out someone else, because this one game, even if Shreyas scores 100 or score a duck, it is not going to put a question mark on his place at all. So you might as well try out someone else, because you have Patidar in the squad as well, you have Rinku.
Yeah,
These short term things are something we've discussed so much, and we don't see a change happening regardless of who the management or who the captain coach duo is, which is why I feel it's very important that you, right after a big tournament, you decide that okay, this person is going to be our full-time captain going into the next world tournament, because that allows for a lot of clarity. It allows for a lot of hits and misses, hits and trials for the next captain. In T20s, this is what has happened. India have not been clear post the 2 years is a long time between in today's world. 2 years is a long time between two ICC tournaments to figure out who's going to be your captain and what kind of template you want to go ahead with in a world tournament. But India are now just three T20 eyes away from the world T20, and they are really not sure who's going to be in what kind of template do they want to play. So this is why you need that clarity just after that tournament.
Hey, talking
you
about
know,
captain, so but even the coach, Sitanshu Kotak's going to oversee proceedings today. So Dravid's clearly given a mandate to handle the Test cricket scheme of things. Would you like that as well, the split coaches with split formats?
I would like it, but I'm not sure if it is really going to happen in Indian cricket, because the point is, overall, there is no transparency in terms of formats, in terms of personnel for specific formats, and I don't think coach is uh, a good term to use when it comes to Indian cricket, because he's more of a manager or a director, because I mean, the point is, everyone these days, especially the players who are playing international cricket for India, they have their separate coaches, separate physios. So that's the reason I feel that it's still okay to have one right now. But I mean, uh, if the change has to happen, it has to happen from the bottom up. Firstly, you need to have proper, you know, your roster organization for different formats, and from there on, then you go on to split coaches. At least you should be splitting up batting coaches and bowling coaches, fielding coaches first before the head. I'm still okay with one head coach, so that there is someone who's accountable for everything, someone jiski sab sune, because they can be clashes, that if there is a ODI coach or a test coach, oh, I want this player, I want that, which happens with England a lot. When Owen Morgan was the white ball captain, the Test cricket was deprioritized. Now, when Ben Stokes is the red ball captain, white ball is deprioritized. So it just happens when you have someone who's more authoritative, he tends to get his say, and others have to sort of adjust. So let's see. But here on in this particular tour, I'm a little unconvinced about the schedule itself. I just have a feeling that in this tour, the ODI should have happened first. It's a very logical thing to do because the overlap between the ODI and the Test squad is a lot more than T20s and Tests. Now, there are a lot of players who are not in the ODI squad just because they have to play those practice games for the Test. They have to be ready, which is fair as well. Now, right now, I mean, India don't have with Deepak Char out. India don't have any option who can bat at it. Ideally, they would have wanted to test Shardul Thakur right now. Ideally, he should be playing these ODIs. He would be an integral part of the team come the Champions Trophy and later on as well, because right now we don't have those kind of players. But he's not playing because he has to sort of be ready for the test games. There's also a game or a practice game that Indians are playing. So I'm slightly unconvinced about the scheduling. I feel ODI should have been there first, so that the main players who you really want to prep for the tournaments later on are playing. Because let's be honest, in modern day, you won't get a lot of time, and you won't even know when 2025 Champions Trophy is. No, it's just right around the corner. Then you'll just try to stitch up something. So, like I said, scheduling can be a little more. No, what's the word? Pragmatic.
Pragmatic indeed, and I think they've just gone from shorter to longest on this South African tour. But let's see how it all works out. Remember, India have named the 11 for this first ODI, and like Kirat said, Sai Sudarshan does make his debut. It's probably going to be Gaikwad at the top of the order. I think KL will bat at his number 5. There's Tilak, there's Shreyas Iyer, there's Samson too, and like Som indicated, there's no one really to bat at 8 for India. So Kuldeep, Mukesh, Arshdeep, and Avesh are the bowlers over there. Make whatever you want to make of that. By the way, all you lovely people, on a Sunday afternoon, we will take your comments, of course. Sorry that I haven't taken them already because we're just trying to, of course, set some context heading into this first one international. Quickly reading out, South Africa's playing 11 in this first ODI. Then Tony DeZorzi, Reza Hendricks, who still averages under 30, playing 31 games. Let's see if he can really take this opportunity well. Then you have Rassie van der Dusen, who's just been great ODI pro so far. Captain Aiden Markram, then Klaasen, then Miller, which we, of course, knew too well about in the World Cup. Vian Mulder slots in as well, not to forget Anil Feklepeo, and then the bowlers pick themselves, including the debutant Berger with regards to that. Keep your comments coming through. No cap to Rinku. Thoughts? We just spoke about it because Sanju Samson, of course, has been given that clarity and that role at number 6. KL Rahul went on to, of course, speak about it in the press conference as well. Don't miss out on Liverpool versus United in this ODI. Santosh, the jive can stop. The Christmas tree's out, man. It's a holiday season and there's no sacking tomorrow. Let's, of course, just be absolutely optimistic. Ayush, we will take all those kind of other miscellaneous questions to Gurkirat and Somesh at the end of the show. But Gurkirat, go on. You wanted to make a point.
Yeah, interestingly, KL's slated as an opener in the team sheet. Now, if
Yeah, but
that
that's just for the
happens,
broadcaster. But don't you think he'll bat at 5?
Yeah. I think he made it clear in the press conference.
I hope he. I hope okay. If he has, then it's good enough.
Yeah, but
Because if I
I
see
won't be
him,
surprised because whenever KL has
yeah,
captain
if I
Indian
see him
ODIs, yeah,
opening, if I see him opening, I'm going to definitely flip out because it is genuinely undoing all the good work that has happened.
yeah.
It's like okay, I'll tell you what it's like. It's like in a metro city, you put in years of infrastructure, you build a good road system, right? You make all the flyovers, and then you realize, okay, we have to put a pipeline. So you start, you start breaking down everything and start constructing. So all the hard work that you did to get rid of all the traffic is back again because you realize this is something that we did not do earlier. So I hope that doesn't happen because else I'll really flip out.
Okay, but just in the scheme of things right now, you guys are happy that how the toss has worked out, or do you guys really care? Because lots of people in the comments as well saying it's bilaterals. Honestly, we don't care. But what do you feel, Som? Do you think it's a good thing that it's worked out that way for the toss?
Yeah, I mean it's irrelevant. I mean, right now, तो toss के बारे में after the World Cup final, there's no point talking about it. You can't control it.
Exactly.
It is what it is. It's a day game, so maybe that's why South Africa want to bat first. Maybe the other two teams might opt to chase.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, no real thoughts there. जो है सो है. just get on
Okay,
with it.
why don't we take a question right now? Actually, Gurkirat, you finish your point, and then we'll go to the questions.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the players who are at the bench now. India have had Sundar on the bench from the Australia T20Is. They had him on the bench in the SA T20Is as well, and now he's again on the bench. Now you keep harping and talking about the lack of our all-rounder options. Now, if you're not going to play him in bilaterals, how are you going to see how good he is? So that's my point. Again, uh, maybe one of the four bowlers could have made way for him. I wouldn't have mind if it's the same logic that I used for Sky when we were talking about the Australia T20Is. Now Kuldeep, you are assured that he is a part of your ODI setup. He is there to stay. So you might as well try out Washington Sundar and see what can he bring to the table. For all we know, Kuldeep again returns with a three for it helps the entire bowling attack perform better. But we have already seen that when there's a Bumrah or when there's a lead pacer, everyone else attacks better. It's something that Nikhil brought up, that in the absence of the leader, that is where the other bowlers who are support bowlers struggle for control and they're not able to take that step up. So why would you not try that out by leaving Kuldeep out? That okay, today you don't have the cushion of a Kuldeep Yadav. Let's see what you can bring to the table, because that then puts pressure on everyone else to get those breakthroughs. Kuldeep will deliver. You will get what he's going to give you, and it will make things easier. But the test is to do something without Kuldeep on a good batting pitch.
Yeah, and you look at how India are kind of going into this first ODI right now. Obviously, it gives you an impression that our tail is kind of short. And how will Mukesh and Avesh and Arshdeep really fare? Because no Siraj, no Bumrah, no Jadeja. Kuldeep keeps his place in terms of the World Cup starting 11. And like Gurkirat mentioned, they could have probably slotted in Sundar. Hopefully, even a Shardul could have actually been slated into this one game. I would have definitely agreed with you guys. Greg going on to say South Africa batting first because it's a used wicket. It is a used wicket. We saw that at the pitch report indeed. And I'll tell you something more. The last time India played an ODI here was 2009 Champions Trophy. Remember good old MS Dhoni getting Dowditch out? That's what the broadcaster showed. So I don't know. Gurkirat's shaking his head in disdain. This is the other stadium in Joburg, my friend.
This is not Wanderers.
It's apparently the newer stadium. So I don't know. Apparently they're going back to the 2009 ODI. So just correct me if I'm wrong with that regards to that. Quickly then, Som, it's a pink ODI. What do you make of it? Any fantastic memories? Any memories at all?
Of course, I mean, you think of pink ODIs, you suddenly your mind goes back to Quinton de Kock making his debut 3 turns against India, and you all of a sudden realize, oh, he's not there anymore in the ODI scheme of things. And AB de Villiers doing that damage against West Indies. So a lot of different things. I think even in the tour where Virat Kohli just made South Australia team look like Jalandhar Canteen 11. Even in that series, South Africa managed to win the pink ODI courtesy a good cameo from Henrik Larsson. So yeah, lots of these pink ODIs are usually interesting. Let's see if we get one today.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that one that I spotted on the watch along as well, the fact that Sri Lanka, South Africa, there was a pink ODI and there was just a bunch of bees. And I remember that vivid image as well. Gurkirat, Santa de Cruz asks you, pink jerseys are known to create history. What's going to happen, Paji?
Uh, maybe Markram does something like what he did in that first World Cup game. Or he raced to a faster century, though it was broken a few days after at the very same venue by Maxwell. So let's see. But otherwise, very difficult to say. I don't know. Kuldeep has enjoyed a good time in South Africa in general. So could he do something special? When he was last time in South Africa, he had just arrived on the scene. Now he's probably gone through an entire circle where he struggled, got dropped, worked on his fitness, worked on his pace. So we won't be surprised if there's a special performance from Kuldeep also, because the pitch is a used one and the ball stayed low in the T20I, and he took a
I know
five
you
for it.
guys,
So let's
I know both of you guys keep saying last time we played them in South Africa. That was, of course, I hope you guys are talking about the 2017-18 tour, because we did play that 3-match ODI series whenever it was in 2020 or
No,
2021.
no, I remember, but I think in early 2022 when we played that series, I don't think India played in Johannesburg. I think one game was
Yeah,
in
but that
Paarl.
was not the series that Kuldeep, of course, came. I mean, you're talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
2017-18 one.
Yeah, Kuldeep was not a part of it. So that's why I said that, the last time, because Ashwin played two ODIs
Yeah.
and Chahal was the other spinner. And then Ashwin was dropped in the third ODI. I think India then played Washington.
Yeah, indeed. The direct hit saying Sanju Samson has kept Rinku out. I mean, sometimes you just have to take a call, and I think the Indian team have taken a call with regard to this. Bat first wicket means South Africa need to be and took that one, and he won't
So,
open. Sudarshan Gaikwad will open, say, in the direct hit, which is good to know. Santosh Sharapa, it could be Vian Mulder, it could be Fake Lupeo, because they have only one proper pacer. South Africa, they're playing the two spinners, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes with regards to their
so
opening
it's a
pair.
little absurd to say that Sanju Samson has kept Rinku out. I mean, I would rather say Tilak Verma has kept Rinku out because Samson was there in the scene of things. I mean, the point is, it's the one format where you cannot question his inclusion.
But does Rinku ever kind of merit a spot higher than 5, in your opinion, guys? Because
No,
Tilak
but the
does.
point is, so the thing is, I mean, Sanju could have batted higher up the order, and Rinku could have then played.
Oh, that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sanju, I mean, I'm guessing is a designated finisher right now, because I'm guessing when you have Shreyas and you have KL and who's your lock in at 5, or hopefully, like Gurkeerat said, he'll flip it if he opens. How else would you kind of fit in Samson into the puzzle? It has to be at 6 or nothing else.
I mean, see, ऐसे तो it doesn't even have a fixed spot at 6 because when Hardik is playing, you won't even be able to fit Sanju even in the top 6. So, I mean, if you think about like that, it's slightly tricky. But the point is, uh, I mean, Sanju Samson is not a finisher. He's a more complete batter than just being a designated finisher. Finishing is a very different job, and ideally, a finisher should also be an all rounder, in my opinion. I mean, if you just have, or at least a wicket keeper, because if you're playing someone as a pure batter at 6, it just doesn't sit well with me. Because, like I said, a lot. Look at Sky in the World Cup. He isn't bowling. He isn't a wicket keeper. In half the games, he won't bat, and when he has to bat, he has to bail the team out of a certain precarious situation, or actually just come and hit from ball one. So it's a very niche job, and if you're not contributing in other facets, then the rope that becomes very short for you, and you're always open to criticism.
But the thing is, so would you expect the Indian team management now to give Rinku and Samson chances more than Sky? Is the ship sailed on Sky in ODIs at least?
I think so. I just want to add one more point to what I said earlier. The reason I feel that your number 6 should be able to contribute in more than one ways is because that also gives him the freedom to hit from ball one. Because if you play someone who's a pure batter, at the back of his mind, he would always be like, "Oh, I need to, sort of preserve my wicket as well. Because if I flop, I won't be able to, justify my inclusion through other means, and that just creates a added pressure."
Yeah, it does create an added pressure. And let's see how India go about it, because these 3 ODIs will give us minimum indication of how things are building up for the future. By no stretch of the imagination, the 11 that you're seeing right now will probably be built up for the 25 Champions Trophy, because only time will tell who is going to be out and who's going to be in. Keep your comments coming through. Archit Mehta going on to say, how will Arshdeep Singh perform, considering his past acts have not been so good? Gurkeerat, you want to take that one, especially in this format?
Uh, he's definitely not played a lot of ODIs. I think he's only played three of them, and that too sporadically. Uh, what I'd look out for is what is his control. Uh, maybe he would probably have better control because this is a format where you think you have a greater margin for error, at least in the beginning, because the batters are straight away not looking to put you offline. But say if he bowls 3 overs and goes for 25, 20, 24, 25 runs or more, then you know that the problem of control is across formats, and it's probably with his bowling technique and not just with the format. India, it's a good idea to play him, and India really want one left arm pacer or seamer who can sort of give you 4 to 5 overs in the with the new ball, and then maybe bowl the rest five. Otherwise, because we have seen that it is a distinct advantage, but that advantage is only going to come if it is going to be with some control. India will not mind if Arshdeep could do similar to what Janssen was doing in the World Cup. He was expensive. He lacked control, but when he was getting it right, he was attacking the stumps and getting batters out. Barring that one game, which was I think versus India, which was the second last game, and then I think the semi-final. Janssen got wickets in the power play in pretty much every game. So India would like us if Arshdeep could bowl similar to what Janssen did in the World Cup. India would be very happy because it allows them to build on something. The control factor or the control improvement will eventually come.
Yeah, and remember with Arshdeep, he's the difference with regards to the only left-arm pacer that we have available right now, and only time will tell how he takes his opportunity in ODI cricket. So why don't you take this one from Mr. Anand, because he goes on to ask, would you rather ask the Indian team to play the IPL or skip it, more play bilaterals, considering so many other international players would also be playing the IPL? I feel there's pros and cons to both.
Uh,
I
I don't
mean,
know. Okay, let Sumesh go first.
no, realistically, I mean, this is a non-question because you cannot ask any player to skip the IPL at this point of time because it's not going to happen. We've seen in situations where an injury-prone pacer has been, grinded to the dust, even in games when the team is already out of contention for the playoffs. So asking them to skip it altogether is not going to happen. See, playing more bilaterals again. Ad, with Advair, I think is the name of the person. When it comes to pros and cons, the pros of playing bilaterals is at least you play as a team, and cons is sometimes the opposition are not fielding their best 11. And the issue here is what I feel is how many times you see India actually playing their best 11 in the bilaterals, which is a very important thing to consider. So I think, the see, uh, IPL becomes a scapegoat more often than not. But let's be fair, it's just a 2 month thing. But what do you do in the other 10 is more important right now, because if you look at it based on personnel, IPL has only helped Indian cricket. It's not affected it. But the issue here is when you take make decisions in other formats based on IPL. That's a challenge. And second thing is, of course, as we've seen in the WTC often in the last 2 times, and we've seen it in T20 World Cups as well. When they are scheduled just right after the IPL, we see a lot of burned down or injured players go on and play the tournament, and they don't perform to their utmost potential. And that is where this conversation starts coming in, that players should be asked to skip it. But we don't have any precedent for now, and if it's not happened for 15 years, it's unlikely to happen in the future, where the next generation is fed on IPL. They are not fed on international cricket as probably the previous generation was. So it is going to become trickier and trickier. But I think there should be some room of flexibility when like for example, right now, that the T20 World Cup is going to start on 3rd June. Now, if IPL, let's say, goes on till its usual length of around 20th May, it is going to create an issue. You cannot expect all Indian players to be at the peak of their fitness and mental bandwidth.
You echo those
I
thoughts,
think
Gurkila?
I largely agree. I just want to add one more point, that it's not just money which is a driver of this. It's also the eyeballs. People are themselves saying that, oh, we don't care about bilaterals as much, but you don't see people saying the same for the IPL. So as a sports person or as a performer, of course, I think in every walk of life, money is an important factor, but it's also the eyeballs that you would have people looking at you. And the advantage of playing the bilaterals is, though I'm not sure if India you take use of that advantage, is that you can try certain combinations and see what is going to work. The problem begins that even those bilaterals are not taken full advantage of, where you, it's more of that, more or less always looking at short term goals or being penny wise pound foolish. So that's where the problem begins. And I don't think, it's logical to ask anyone to skip the IPL unless the board says, okay, we will compensate what you'll be earning. if
Which
if
is
if
never
the
going to
board
happen.
can, if board has the resources to do that, because they're spending what, only 6% of their revenue on player salaries. So if the board is going to tell the players that, okay, you are contracted with us, if you don't play the IPL, we will compensate you the amount, then I'm sure players would be okay with it,
Yeah,
because
but
they
that's
would.
not going to happen in realistic terms, right? The board's never going to make
It's
exceptions for players like that
it's
because then
only
they'll have to make it a
it's not
precedent.
going to happen because you don't have the intentions for it.
No,
It's
but
not.
even if the board wanted to go out of their way, then they'll have to kind of make a precedent going ahead in the future.
So
Maybe a couple of
they'll have to say it before the auctions that these players
yeah,
will not be a part of it. So you tread accordingly.
yep, indeed.
or
More comments
or
coming
or,
through.
or a certain player, I mean, who knows, who has that level of, you know, authority with the system. If that player sets an example that, oh, I want to prioritize this event, I'll be skipping IPL, which hasn't happened so far, and let's see if it happens in due course. But right now, I mean, one thing is very clear, uh, in terms of fans and overall viewership and interest. I think world events still take the cake. But next is the IPL. There is no chance, no matter how big a bilateral series it is. I don't think any bilateral series has garners as even the equal interest as does the IPL. So
Unless it's an
it's
India
very
Pakistan
clear
one.
that's not going to happen. If it happens, maybe yeah, that's going to be a thing. But apart from that, I mean, not even close. There is no competition between bilaterals and IPL at the moment.
Yeah, and no matter what the venue is as well, right? Like even if England
Doesn't
versus
matter.
India 5-match ODI series, Lords and all that doesn't care. It's about the tests which
Doesn't
really
matter.
matter. Indeed. Really good chatting with you guys. This match is going to happen very, very shortly. Of course, let us know your thoughts in the comments. More comments coming through. Rinku should be in the ODI scheme of things. He's been excellent in list A in first class, having an average of I-40 in both. Rahul 200 loading today, saying superhero rises. And it's great to see KL playing today. Hopefully, we will see him play in the 2027 ODI World Cup and choke in yet another semi-final. Ouch. Going on to say. And Rahul Rawat, if you're new, please join. Of course, StreamYard gives us a new feature where we can see the comments from Twitter and YouTube. So you guys can join us from both. And I think there's an option to, of course, go live on Instagram. Hopefully, we'll get the working around of that sorted as well. Right. Predictions, guys, because the first ball's going to happen. What do you think South Africa are going to get batting first? 280, 300, more?
I'm looking at 270 because it's a used track.
And India have what, 5 bowling options? I mean, Tilak obviously and Shreyas can bowl, but I don't think we'll see them. So one bowler has a really shit day in the office, so then who's going to make up that void, fill in that void?
Tilak, you do have. I mean, कुछ तो है नहीं option.
Because Klassen, Miller, and Markram are obviously going to eat them alive, whoever the sixth bowler is. But I'm hoping that we get some early inroads. Who would you like to see take the new ball really quickly? Arshdeep Mukesh or Avesh in there?
Yeah, Arshdeep Mukesh, because I see Avesh as more of a middle overs enforcer. So maybe let's see what Mukesh. Arshdeep is a short shot. Would pair him with Mukesh. But I just feel, I mean, I don't know. Maybe, of course, I can be wrong, but I don't see South Africa as a 275 kind of a team. Either they will capitulate and end up scoring somewhere around 200, or then can score 330 as well.
Yeah.
But let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, because they've been getting 300s for fun off late, not just in the World Cup, but prior to that. They played Australia here last in this venue, and they got 315 batting first, and they topple them in return for 193. So look, Dizorzi is going to come out with Hendricks, and you guys can catch the live blog on cricket.com if you guys like written context scheme of things. And just check out our website and app. It's pretty fucking cool. All right, KL's keeping, so Sanju's not keeping. He did say that Sanju might keep one part of the series, so we'll wait and watch how it goes. And it's good weather conditions, so expect a long game. And like I said, we'll be back in the review scheme of things. Dream 11 captain, vice captain. No.
Sanju can keep if India are 2-0 up, and then KL will rest himself from the third ODI to prepare for the
No,
test.
I think he won't rest even then because
That's the only scenario I see Sanju keeping. Otherwise, though,
he
why?
won't rest because this series is a good audition for KL, the captain.
Yeah, indeed. What else would you guys like to see in this ODI really quickly? Sai Sudarshan, debut 50. Sanju, a finishing role. What else? Quickly.
I'd like to see Rutus get some runs because Rohit's not going to play for long. So he seems to be someone who has the similar mold as what Rohit had
Yeah.
before COVID. Like
Oh,
he,
straight away. And is that a wicket? Oh, my word. Before it gets into this watch-along scene, we'll, of course, end proceedings on the match preview. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really, really appreciate it. 5-10 minutes after the game, we will be here to review it all. And of course, we'll take some other questions which I didn't take right now about Mumbai Indians. So you can, of course, bother us later. And hopefully, I should be smiling with United winning as well. That's all we have time for. Thanks, Somesh and Gurkirat. Have a fantastic Sunday, lads, and all the rest of you guys as well. We'll leave it there. Cricket.com. It's a place to be. Cheers.